She said, baby, why you so low-key? Never seen you up in these streets. She a baddie running game on me. So they be really working OT. You're tryna get to know me, but I don't wanna budge, no. I can tell that she a freak, it's a freak that she wants, so you know the vibes, it's mine, no time for solos. You already know, when I pull up on the curves, you know we have to keep it gangsta for true. You told your cousin I'm a dub, then you look me in my eyes and said, you're mine, oh. You're mine, oh. For these other bitches, are you dumb? For real, see, I know you wanna. What is this? Witness this. You didn't turn you on, now she wanna get it on. She a freak in the sheets, ain't nobody here for creep, so I don't mind if you wanna spend some time. Whoa. She know we have to keep it gangsta for true. You told your girls that I'm a dub, then you look me in my eyes and said, you're mine, you are mine, oh. You're mine, you are mine, oh. The fuck these other bitches, are you dumb? That's why that you're a freak. You've been a freak of the week, but you're still a lady in the streets. But I know you a freak. You've been a freak like me, but I just want some more. You told your friends that I'm a dub, then you look them in the eyes and said, he's just a vibe, he's that guy, but he made me shy and cry. I wonder why. Oh Lord, she's a freak. You've been a freak of the week, but you're still a lady in these streets. But I know you a freak. You've been a freak like me, but I just want some more. You told your friends that I'm a dub, then you look them in the eyes and said, he's just a vibe, he's that guy, but he made me shy and cry. I wonder why. Oh Lord, she's a. She said, baby, why you so low-key? Never seen you up in these streets. She a baddie running game on me, so they be really working OT. You're tryna get to know me, but I don't wanna budge, no. I can tell that she a freak, it's a freak that she wants, so you know the
It does kill it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system since move back left. You don't want to change from the 4-3. But boom. What's going on? Lights all off. What's going on, people? We're back again on the Jerry James Show for another Transfer Hub. And this time, things are going a bit left, man. The news has dried up a bit yet again. You know, end of last week, we heard the news. You know, Henderson trying to skedaddle all the way to Saudi Arabia. We got Fabinho packed his bags. That's what it's looking like. People. But it's died down a bit. We now thinking about who else is coming in. Liverpool haven't acted as swiftly as we would have thought. It's now Tuesday, coming up to Wednesday. Liverpool play their first game, I believe, on the 19th, which is tomorrow, and still no resolutions in terms of, you know, getting everyone back for pre-season as Klopp wanted. We don't know what our starting midfield is going to look like for tomorrow and for the season, the opening game of the season for Chelsea, against Chelsea, sorry. So, yeah, it is looking crazy, but big up to everyone in the building. Hope you're doing well on this Tuesday afternoon. As I always say, please make sure we're smashing the like upon the video, getting that ticket to entry. Do you know what I mean? It's a free ticket. You just go, I make sure I click you in, and then you can engage and enjoy it with all of us as well. And obviously, if you're new and you're watching the channel, please make sure we're subscribing to the channel as well. En route to 100 million subscribers, as they like to go and say. So big up to everyone. It's going to get to the people in the chat, because I know a lot of you guys have a lot to say. I haven't really chat with you guys since Friday, I believe, people. So Thursday or Friday. So yeah, a lot to discuss, man. A lot to discuss. We've got Ensman in the building saying big up. Have a great stream. No Hendo slander. I haven't said anything about Hendo yet. And to be fair, I think some of the slander is unwarranted. It is, but look, we're gonna have to wait and see whether anyone agrees or disagrees with me when we chop that up later on. We've got RJ in the building as well, saying if true and Kimmich is an option, this is the perfect solution. DM and Trent cover and experienced in his prime, plus Varela as an understudy DM at 23. We're going to chop that up. We've got RJ in the building. We've got Honesty in the building as well. We're going to get to your comment later on. We've got Peter O'Ryan, Captain Sal, Pan of Skulls. We've got Hendo in the building. We've got Redbird D9. Revenites pulled up as well. We've got Pan of Scouse. We've got Andy. Big up to Andy Vernari. Haven't seen you in a long time. You're doing well. We've got Alexander De Los as well. Big up to Psychedelic Warrior. Listen, Psychedelic, I'm loving the palm trees right now. Listen, that's where my mind is at. I wish, man. But instead, I'm stuck in this dreaded UK, man. Stuck in a dreaded UK, but look, big up to yourself. Who else we got? We got Zubiri in the building as well. It's Jerry James, Liverpool superhero fan with vibes and analysts. Yeah, big up to Zubiri. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we got the misses in the building as well, saying 199. Big up from your biggest admirer. Appreciate it wholeheartedly. Question is, people, is she my biggest admirer? That's the question. That's the question. You know, I'm hot in these streets, you know, like that. So, but big up to the missus. We got Colin Blackshaw in the building as well. Big up. I believe we've got Jay Kismet as well. Big up to Jay Kismet. Hope you're doing well. 27 people in the building. I expect 27 likes. But let's get into it, man. Reports. We're gonna talk about the main man in the thumbnail today. I know there's links to Timu Koopmeiners as well. That's during the merge today, but we're going to chop up this one in particular, man. Football Insider reporting that Liverpool are exploring a potential move for Cheick Doucoure, the 23-year-old from Crystal Palace. Won their player of the season last year with over 25% of the vote, beating the likes of, Ebrichi Eze, Zaha, Elise to the award. So decent player. And look, he's not a household name, but he's someone that might have gone under the radar, but did have a very decent season after signing from Lens up in France in the league. So look, very good player. The Mali international, obviously only 23 years old. Very decent outing. And Crystal Palace had a season that really went kind of under the radar. Of course, they had their main star players. I mean, Elise scoring a couple of free kicks in games really kind of turned the eye and he showed what he's about. But in general, Crystal Palace just had a decent season. Under Vieira, it looked like everything was going left. Roy Hodgson came and just stabilized everything. But at the heart of everything was this man, Cheick Doucoure, man. So look, we're going to chop it up. We're going to actually get up. We're going to look at the stats of Cheick Doucoure. I'm just going to get into some more data around this guy, man. I think it's important to do. But look, we're going to look at. I'm just going to read out some of the stats around him, man. It's actually crazy because essentially what we've seen, people, is since the emergence of obviously the Henderson and Fabinho deal of interest from Saudi Arabia, Liverpool's carefully kind of planned transfer window, trying to do everything really smart. We get McAllister for 35 M's. We're doing Szoboszlai. Everything's slow and methodical. Has really just been thrown up in the air now. And now it is a race against time because the longer Liverpool leave it, the more desperate they are, the higher the prices will be. And then it means that the pool of players that we can attract will naturally get smaller under FSG. Now, we know why that is. We're not going to get into that right now, but that is the situation. So we've got a lot of problems, man. And right now, it does seem like a fully headed race, man. So we've already lost the likes of Henderson, Fabinho, Naby Keita, Milner, and Oxlade, Chamberlain, and Arthur as well. Don't get it twisted. I know Arthur was on loan, but he's left as well, and he was a potential option even if he was on the bench. No, we didn't use him, but you know what I mean. So we're looking at it now, and apart from Fabinho right now, looked at the stats again. The only DMs we would have is Tyler Morton, who's 20, and Stefan Bajcetic with 2 appearances for Morton and 11 appearances for Bajcetic in the Premier League. It's looking crazy, man. It's looking very scary, man. Gonna look here now. What does it say? Roy Hodgson via London News Online, and this is direct from Roy Hodgson, stating, look, he has been very influential. He's one of those players that plays in a position which is a bit of a fulcrum when attacking, of the attacking midfield play and the defending midfield play. Going on to say, look, his positional sense, his ability to read the game, his technical ability, and the fact that he gets around the field so well makes him influential. I noticed he's up there amongst the people who've made the most interceptions, which is nice to see in the Premier League. We can see here, look, he's actually, he topped Crystal Palace tackling and interception charts while ranking 4th in the Premier League overall for the latter, so for interceptions per game. So in the Premier League, coming 4th in terms of interceptions in the whole Premier League, that's a very good stat to go and see. His interception stats over the last year put him in the 97th percentile for midfielders, according to FBref, while he ranks in the 74th for tackles up to the 87th for tackles in the defensive third and the 86th for dribblers tackled. Less impressively, which is really, really interesting. He's 5'11", but he's actually ranked 58th in the 58th percentile for heading percentage, and for pass completion, he's only 56th. So it is quite, interesting. It is quite interesting, man. I mean, look, just to summarize as well, before I get into your comments, because I know a lot of you guys will have kind of opinions on what I'm saying. It'll be interesting to obviously find out before we actually look at the stats and compare them to our current options. As a youngster, obviously Doucoure, as after in Mali, Doucoure spent time in the JMG Academy, Bamako, whose former players include the likes of Amadou Haidara and Yves Bissouma, both players that we've actually been linked with in the past, interestingly enough. He moved to France as a teenager in 2018, joining Lens. He established himself in the first team during the 18-19 season before helping the club win promotion to League 1 the following year. Once in the top flight, he formed a fine partnership alongside the more creative Seko Fofana. Seko Fofana actually moving to Saudi Arabia this season as well. So for this upcoming season, for a really, really interesting, man. Just to go and look at, obviously, his contract length and transfer value. Apparently, Doucoure signed a 5-year deal with the Eagles in 2022. They forked around 22 million for his signing. Football Transfers puts his current transfer value, expected transfer value anyway, at 24.6 million euros, which is 21 million. Though, it's hard to imagine that Crystal Palace are actually going to ever part with 21 million for a man that they deem so influential and important, especially when Rodgers has been there, and especially only buying him a season ago. With Southampton looking to obviously hold about 50 million for Lavia. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be surprised if they'd sit there and say, we want 50 million for Cheick Doucoure, knowing Liverpool's kind of problem in this area, knowing the fact that we are desperate, and knowing the fact that they can get the money. If they don't sell him, they don't care. They'd rather keep this player. Fulham. I know there's talks about obviously around West Ham bidding 40 million for Joao Payinha from Fulham. It's reported it was 90 million. I don't really know about what's going on here. It's really interesting. Looking at his injury and suspension record, which is really, really good before we move on, is his availability. I'm looking here. His availability was impressive. I'm looking at Transfer Market now. Doucoure has missed just 4 games in his whole senior career due to fitness. All at Lens, though he has been suspended for 9 matches. So he is available. Doesn't seem to be injury prone at the moment. Played, 35 games in the Prem. So look, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting, bro. It's going to be very, very interesting. Just to get here, I got a super chat from Zaburi. Big up to Zaburi, man. I appreciate the super chat. Saying, Statman Jerry never fails with the stats. Some fans relying on eye test and forget the context of the moment. Thoughts on Kamara at Villa. I rate him. I rate Kamara as well. I'm not going to lie to you. I rate Kamara. I know we're getting a bit off topic. I appreciate the super chat as well. We're going to get into some of the other options that we could potentially get, because I actually want to know, is he good enough? Once we look at the stats, is he good enough? But crazy. Like, for me, Kamara, top baller. But, we're not getting... We'd have to fork out a lot for him, man. I think they spent quite a lot, man. So it'll be really, 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 really interesting. Let's get into the stats. All right, cool. Big up to Andy. Andy saying he's a good player, to be fair. In midfield, he allowed Eze to play how he played and did the dirty work. That's very, very true. We've got Andy Renari going on to say, look, Amrabat and Lavia are better, in my opinion, but he is a good DM. Shadow boxer Dougie Joyce, big up to Dougie Joyce, saying ain't winning no titles with Doucoure. Fair enough. RJ's back on it now. Hit up the like button. Big up. Alexander Delos saying, look, FSG cheapskate as usual. We've got Angel 968, big up to yourself, saying Bissouma should be looked at. Surely he wouldn't be expensive from Tottenham. I think he would, considering how much they paid they paid for him. He does it right now. It currently looks at the starting pair in midfield. According to a lot of Spurs fans, will actually be Ndombele, Bissouma, and that would be the pivot, and then Kulusevski or Kane or someone at Madison in the 10 as well. So, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting. I don't think it'll be cheap. Zabiri saying, man like Morton, Jones, Bajcetic, and Thiago can run the 6 on rotation. 2 or 3 midfielders are solid. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe they're going to have to, bro. Maybe we're going to have to. GTV saying every day a new name. Yeah, but this is what we're hearing, man. This is what we're hearing. Yeah, big up to Andy. Andy saying Ange Postecoglou wants to use, or Ange Postecoglou wants to actually use Basuma as well. Garrett saying Kone and Thuram for me. Alexander Delos saying, why not go for Kimmich? Yeah, we might have to. Jay Kismet saying, don't want Amrabat or Doucoure. Chouameni is the guy, and Thuram for me. Yeah, this is what's happened, man. That the pool's open so much, and it's actually causing this type of like feeling amongst the fan base, man. So it's crazy. But look, without further ado, I want to actually have a look. Because look, I'm the same as you guys. I'm not going to go and pretend like, look, I've watched the player. I've commented saying, look, he's a very, very good player. I liked when he played against us. I'm not going to comment. I haven't watched every single game. I didn't know he won their player of the season, which is still really, really good. But how good is Cheick Doucoure when comparing him to, first of all, the players that play at Liverpool currently, so our DM. So we're going to use Henderson and Fabinho. And I'm going to chuck in a Bajcetic in there as well, just to go and kind of see how we progress from there. How much better is he than him? How much of a step up anyway? And then we're going to compare him to the other kind of people and players that we're linked with, the likes of Lavia, Amrabat, the likes of Chouameni as well, Caicedo. I think it's important to go and do that because we are then able to go and, look at these players for what they are and not necessarily get blindsided by names. And all of us, that can happen to all of us. I think that's really important. So the first one we're going to do, is Fabinho, right? Because Fabinho's obviously, I need to know as well, what's going on with this guy? What's going on with Fabinho? Oh, where is he, man? Tavares, is that his name? Tavares, Fabinho Tavares. Is it Fabio Tavares? Nah, man, that's from Coventry. No, I need to share the screen with you guys because you guys you're gonna be like laughing at what I'm doing right now. I'm sometimes I feel like I'm revealing an age that I'm not just doing nonsense upon this thing, man. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, Jesus, man, I even lost you guys for a second. I couldn't even find the damn thing. Cool. Gonna share the screen now. Where is it? There we go. I'm looking here. You guys are saying Fabinho is a nickname. It's Fabio Tavares. Yeah, I slapped Fabio Tavares in there though, and it just weren't working. So we're gonna have to probably do this like at the same time, right? Let's see. I must have clicked it before. It must pop up somewhere, or is he not that important? Let's see. Fabinho. Please come out. We've done this before, so I don't know why this is happening. All right, it's playing up on me. Oh. What's going on here? Hold on, we're gonna have to do this again. Cool. Cheick Doucoure, yeah? That pops up. This is actually... I have to do it on my phone. All right. I'm going to have to check again. I'm going to do it again and then see if it works. Because right now, it's not working. My son used the Prem comparison with Fabio Tavares. Gee, that's what I'm doing, That's the maddest thing about it. That's the maddest thing about this. But do you know what it is? At least you guys can have a laugh at me, innit? How long we can actually have a... Do you know what I mean? Oh, look, yeah. This ain't working, man. This ain't working. Oh. We download the new scorecard. I don't want to do that. Let's see if it works. If it don't work, it's over. It's over. There you go. It works now. All right. All right, cool. Perfecto. And Fabio, yeah? Yeah, see, Fabinho, but it's not come. See, I knew it. See, I weren't moving mad. All right. Well, as always, people, as you guys can see this, or you should be able to see it. No, you can't. Let me put it up now. Cool. Do. All right, cool. Let's go. Done. Yeah, cool. As you guys can see, we're always going to look at it per 90 because the total amount will obviously different depending on how many games someone's played. I mean, it's just easier to look at it per 90. So this is it per 90, right? The stats that we're going to go and look at, I'm going to edit the stats here, right? You're going to let you guys see this. We're going to look at touches, ball recoveries, right? We're going to look at goals. We don't need to look at that. Free kicks. Is that free kicks or attempts? Yeah, we don't need to look at that either. We're going to look at this. Pass accuracy, yeah. We're going to look at crossing accuracy, through balls attempted, forward passes, backwards and sideways passes, I think is good. And short passes completed, right? For duels, we're going to look at ground duel success, ground duels 1, aerial duel success, aerial duels 1, take on success, duels contested, tackles made, fouls 1 as well. It's quite interesting. Clearances, interceptions, and in the defense, we're going to go. That's it. I think that's all right. I think you guys will say that's all right. Cool. So we're seeing here, people. Hold on. There's someone I've just been reminded. Someone would like to join us up in the stream. I need to make sure and see whether they can actually come on. I guess. Cool, but hold on. Where's Mac? There you go, bro. Big up to yourself. Yeah, sorry. So as we can see here, I need to edit that as well because that says FA Cup. We need to forget that's Premier League. That's in the Premier League. So the 34 games were played for Cheick Doucoure and 36 for Fabinho. So Fabinho's obviously played more games. Really interesting because he's actually a massive, for how bad Fabinho was last season, actually a massive part of our team. He's a massive part of our team. And you can see it through the amount of games. We're seeing, obviously, this is per 90, so minutes played. You have to ignore that. Touches per game. Really interesting. You know, getting 53.4 touches per game. This is Cheick Doucoure to Fabinho 72.2. Now, look, that does seem like a massive glaring hole. I think we have to be reminded, though, that Cheick Doucoure has played for a team that have a very little possession, and they're probably one of the most direct teams in the Premier League in terms of getting the ball back to front, not really playing through the midfield, trying to go out wide as quickly as possible to allow the likes of, you know, whoever it's Eze, Elise, Zaha, Jeffrey Schlupp, Andre Ayew, to kind of isolate their fullbacks, isolate their defenders. So, look, I would ignore the touches, but look, that is a stat to obviously go and look at. Looking at ball recoveries, he's making, 7.2 ball recoveries, so better than Fabinho's with less touches. So you can see he's a bit more industrious. Again, passes attempted, real low. 40 passes to Fabinho, 61. But we can see here, people, he's attempting less passes, but his passing accuracy is slightly off, with it being obviously only 83.62%. We've got Fabinho at 88.65%. So the style of play right now for both of these midfielders, I think, is very different. I think it's important to see that. Interestingly enough, the crossing accuracy from Cheick Doucoure is much higher. This is something that will probably get quite excited, knowing that the positions of Fabinho sometimes in that right or left-hand channel does mean he does like to put a cross in. 33.3 recurring percent for Cheick Doucoure, with 20% for Fabinho. So look, his crossing attempt is much better. He's attempting obviously less through balls, less forward passes, less backward passes, less sideways passes. He's contesting in less duels. So 8.3 duels to 8.6. So really, really, really similar. However, he's making more tackles, just about with 2.5 tackles made to Fabinho's 2.2. However, from a dribbling standpoint, so his take on success is almost 10% higher than Fabinho. So he's able to drive with the ball, 73.91%. That's, 10% more than Fabinho, 63.64%. Look, he's winning less fouls, 0.5% to 0.9. But again, different styles of play. One aerial duel, one a game, so quite similar there. Aerial duel success, Fabinho wins that, but he's a much, much taller player. But that's something to obviously consider as well when we're buying a DM. This is where it gets quite really, really interesting. And I think Klopp will love this industry more than what we've been talking about. So for ground duels people, hold on, you can see that. For ground duels people, as we can see, 3.5 ground duels won per 90 to Fabinho's 3.3. So that's a percentage of 0.2% increase on that. Ground duel success, that's 55% essentially. So he's winning more often than not than the ground duel success being 47.52% for Fabinho. I think that's really important to remember, people, is that if Fabinho was winning, that 6% more of his duels, he's winning most of his ground duels. So he's winning, he's able to tackle, defend, and he's winning the ground duels. Right now, compared to last season, he's losing more than he's winning, and I think that was a massive, massive problem. We can obviously see here through clearances, 0.3% more for Cheick Doucoure, and interceptions, we're looking at 1.9 per game to 1.3 for Fabinho. So look, really interesting stats. He's not like overwhelmingly better at the moment in terms of his stats, people. All right, let me just stop this as well so I can chat to you guys and see what you guys are saying before we move on. So look, the stats not overwhelmingly like in Cheick Doucoure's favor, but what we're seeing here is that the stats are close enough, and I can easily see a sporting director or a manager or our club looking at it and being like, you know what, if Cheick Doucoure can get these stats up for Crystal Palace, if he comes to Liverpool, we'd assume his stats were to increase. And I think that's the way they're going and looking at it. And Liverpool, with Fabinho, I think they're trying to get, it's a percentage game. They're trying to get 10% extra out of a player in comparison to who they're bringing in. So if they can get a player that is giving out a 5 or 10% increase in output on the pitch over the course of the season, that could result in a lot of points, a lot of wins, a lot of victories and losses. So that's the way they're going to look at it, man. That's the way we're going to look at it, man. Big up to Jamrock. This is what it is, man, here. Saying, look, Jerry Fabinho played almost 3,600 minutes last season in all competitions. Exactly. Played a lot of games, man. Scrap saying, big up to Scrap saying, you've got FA Cup stats, change it to the Prem 2022-23. I just did that, man. I just did that. But yeah, man, really, really interesting. I want to go and look at what's going on here. Andy saying Fabinho's not rated like that. Big up to Pat Butcher. Pat Butcher saying, look, Doucoure could do a better job than Fabinho. Fabinho looks stuffed. Yeah, really interesting. Big up to Bob. Bob saying, did you see the Rice baby dance on AFTV? That fan base is disgraceful. Yeah, Cecil, man. I don't know what Cecil got up to, man, but it is what it is, man. Anything for the bag, innit? Anything for the bag and banter. Now, look, they're in a position where they can do that. If they come third, fourth, fifth yesterday next season, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky, man. It's going to be sticky for them. Pat Butcher saying Lavia goes to Arsenal if Liverpool don't make a decent bid. I see that potentially happening. We've got Jamrock saying, look, someone told me Sherman liked a tweet where someone said Fabinho isn't going anywhere. Do you hear that, Liverpool? And he liked that tweet. No, I haven't heard about that, but interesting. Big up to K Mac saying stats are facts. They are, man. Big up to K Mac, man. I hope you're doing well, man. My guy. But yeah, so interestingly enough, man, I want to know what you guys think about Doucoure in comparison to that. I think what I'm going to do now is actually remove Henderson.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, shut up, Alexa. Shut up, Siri. Yeah, we're going to actually look at a player that I really like, and I think a lot of us do. I'd assume so anyway. But that is the man, the myth, the legend, with the emerging legend, Romeo Lavia. And I think I'm going to go and have to share the screen again. It's really interesting, man, to go and see what's going on here. Guys, make sure we're smashing the like as well. Yeah, make sure we're smashing the like. Please big up to yourselves. Take it. Let's go. Cool. All right. So, again, Cheick Doucoure played more games than Lavia. So 34 to 29, so more availability. Again, and this is really interesting, man. Look, Crystal Palace played for... This is where the stats get interesting because I want to say that Southampton played a more progressive style of football, even though they were worse last season. Is that fair to say? Let me know in the comments. That's what I would think. But we're seeing here already, you know, through the touches, ball recoveries, similar but still better in Romeo Lavia's obviously favour. So we're seeing here 53.4 touches for Cheick Doucoure, as we're seeing here, highlighted there. 56 for Romeo Lavia. In terms of ball recoveries, very, very close with this one. 7.2 to 7.6. So we're talking about a difference of 0.4 per game. In terms of a goal per 90, Cheick Doucoure didn't score. I think Lavia scored once. So yeah, we can ignore that. We're not really going to score goals. Apologies, people. Knackered. Cheick Doucoure is saying here, look, passes attempted 40.1 passes to 40 passes. So very, very similar into the passes attempted. Pass accuracy, just slightly better, about 3 to 4% in favour of Romeo Lavia. We're seeing here 86.38% to 83.62 here. Crossing accuracy, much better in Romeo Lavia's favour, man. We're talking almost double, you know. And we're looking here in terms of through balls attempted. He's a much more forward-thinking player. We're talking like 0.3% or 0.3 times per game to 0.1 times per game. In terms of forward passes, again, in favour, like very close, but this time it's actually in favour of Cheick Doucoure. We're seeing here 12.8% to Romeo Lavia's 11.4%. Backwards passes, making 0.3%, 0.3 passes more. Sideways passes, very similar. Short passes, very similar, you know, like 0.7 times in favour of Romeo Lavia. Duels contested. Lavia's actually contesting in more duels by two more duels, in fact. Tackles made, very, very similar. Take on six is actually better for Cheick Doucoure. So that's very interesting to go and see. However, Romeo Lavia is able to earn fouls more. So much, much better in the ball, in my opinion, using that stat. Do you know what I mean? 1.5 times more. So that is a lot when you pen that over a season. However, Cheick Doucoure is better in an aerial duel, winning just over half of all of his aerial duels. I think that's an area that Romeo Lavia will have to get much, much better at if he's going to be really, really good as a DM, if he's not playing for the likes of a City or Barcelona, because a lot of the time the ball's going to be in the air. In terms of ground duels, though, Lavia wins this one hands down. Look, 5.6. His ground duel success is much, much better. And then obviously for clearances and interceptions, they've got one each. I mean, look, to be fair, Doucoure is averaging two interceptions per game to Romeo Lavia's 1.4. And I think we spoke about before on FBref, you know, Cheick Doucoure ranking in the 97th percentile for interceptions means that he is going to be one of the better interceptors in the game. And that's something to go and look at. What is Klopp, what are Linders looking at and looking for in a defensive midfielder? Is it height? Is it the ability to run? Is it the ability to control games? That's so important. Is it the ability to drive with the ball? We're not too sure because the profile has been so different with all of these players. So really, really interesting, man. I need to see what you guys have got to say about this, though, man. I think that's the main thing. Angel 968 saying, look, Moneyball incoming, because that stood out to me when I saw Moneyball. To be honest, not really impressed by Koopmeiners or Doucoure. I hear you. Big up to Motane Arthur saying too similar. Andy saying Lavia was a standout around poor players. Alexander Delos saying too similar. Too similar, my G. Very, very similar, man. Yeah, really interesting, man. I need to know what you guys are saying, man. Like, let me know. Like, if you had to pick now, I've given you 2 players. So, Lavia, like Fabinho or Doucoure, who are you taking? If you had to just do one swap, right? One swap. Fabinho, Doucoure, are you taking? Which one are you taking out of those? And then I want to know Doucoure or Lavia. Are you guys taking Lavia or Doucoure? That's gonna be really, really interesting, man. Alexander De Los saying Doucoure for 20, Lavia for 50. I don't think Doucoure will be 20. I think he will be about 50 as well, 40. I'd say 40 million. I think they double their money easily, man. Easily. We've got K-Mac saying, one word, JJ, it's Adams. Listen, we're going to talk about, I'll chat about Adams later on, man. I think, I mean, Adams is my guy. I've been speaking about it for ages, but people don't want to listen to me. People don't want to listen to me, man. We got Jam, we got to Jam saying Lavia. We got James Doherty saying Lavia. Andy Ranari saying 40 million is an average price now. I'll be so real. Facts. We got to Honesty saying Doucoure because Lavia ain't worth 50, even though he is a bad boy. If Doucoure costs 45 or 40, do you still go Doucoure, or are you going for Doucoure because he's 20? Or you assume he's 20? That's the question. We've got Anfield Road End saying, JJ, you hearing this Kimmich possible availability? If only we move like a big club and move for man, our midfield would be sick. 100%, but we know our midfield don't move like that. That's the question. Our midfield don't move like that, and then we're stuck doing the same old, man. So, yeah. Guys, as well, just to let you know, make sure when I'm done here, I should be done in like 10 minutes. Make sure you're heading over to GTV, because GTV's got some crazy content going on right now, talking about, who's he talking about? I think he's talking about the midfield situation, if I'm being honest. Or is it another player? One of them. Like, G's doing so much right now, I'm not even too sure. I need to check the agenda, but yeah, make sure we're heading over there. Big up to Trouble Laker, saying Lavia for him. Big up to Jay Kismet. Jay Kismet saying, look, we need 2 DMs. They can battle out to get that spot. And Lavia wouldn't mind being on the bench sometimes if he's one of them. I don't know, man. I don't think you move from City, push for a move for Southampton if you don't want to play games. I don't think Southampton was a sure bet, you know. It wasn't like going to Newcastle or even the Crystal Palace that are solid in the Prem. Southampton were a mess, you know. So, interesting, man. Interesting. Honestly saying, look, I'll only go for Doucoure if he's 30 mil max and at a push 35 mil. That's fair. That's fair for you. Yeah, everyone's saying Lavia, man. And to be fair, I'm going to be real. I'd go Lavia as well, man. I'd go Lavia as well. I think Lavia is my guy. Lavia is the guy that, you know, in a footballing sense, I fell in love with his game. And I'm going to die on that hill. I think Lavia is better than certain midfielders we were linked with earlier in the window if he gets the opportunity to play. So that's going to be it for me, man. We got Alexander De Los saying it will be 80, then it will be 80. I'll go for Kimmich then. Yeah, if we to play 40 or 50 more for each, I agree. Andy Renari saying if Fab goes, Bajcetic will be our only property DM, and Morton as well. We need a DM who's good enough to start. Yeah, but who is that DM now? Who is that DM? That's the problem, man. James Doherty saying we might be re-signing James Milner. Maybe so, man. Maybe so. Yeah. Speaking of another one, man, as well. Links reporting. Let me see if I can get this up for you people on Twitter, man. Apologies as well. I don't know what it is today, man. I am battered. I am knackered, you know. I am knackered. Yeah, and just to remind you guys, the chat is about Gomez and Matip. That's it, Gomez and Matip. Someone actually said it in the chat. I need to start being more aware. I'm just out of it today. Yeah, so 100%. That's the. Make sure we're heading over to GTV and chatting about that centre back crisis, because right now, you know, with this whole situation with Colwell and stuff, we can't say anything, bro. We can't say anything regarding this whole thing. Jay Kim is saying, take a break, bro. Bro, life's not for breaks. That's where it's mad. We've got Jude Jellingham. Big up to Jude Jellingham saying, hey, Jerry, why is Klopp no longer at Chouameni? I thought Klopp was insisting on getting either Chouameni or Bellingham for the longest time. No, man. For my Love Island watchers, yeah. He's moving. Oh, For my Love Island watchers, do you know who he's moving like? He's moving like Mitch. I don't want to spoil anything if anyone's not watched it. Some of you probably don't watch it. I hear it. We see Mitch. Just type in Twitter, right? Mitch, Mitch, Love Island, and you'll see why. We just can't. We don't know what we're doing right now. I think we're in a sense of panic as a club in terms of what midfield are we going to bring. Is it this guy? Is it that guy? What's going on here? It is all over the place at the moment. So as a result, I don't think Klopp knows what he wants now. I think what it is, when you thought the possibility was gone, you just shut that door completely. So now we're looking at other stuff. We're trying to play a different way. We're using, we're looking at in a different market. And then you hear, oh, that thing's back available. If you're desperate, you might go back. If you've got a bit of pride and you're like, actually, I'm comfortable with what I've got, then you just stick it out and you're there, innit? So it'll be interesting, man. Another bit of news as well. Koopmeiners as well is someone that's been linked with Liverpool in the past, especially in the January transfer window. It's looking like we might be interested in potentially getting him if a deal can be offered. He's in that bracket like Gakpo was. Like, we're not linked with him like that, but you just never know. If a deal can be done, 20 M's, 30 M's, I think Liverpool go and do it. Man. So, it'll be proper interesting, man. Proper interesting to go and see if that happens. Obviously, Linders is a big fan of him. Pet Linders is a big fan of him. And I feel like Pet Linders has still got that influence, man. But look, you never know, man. You never know. Alexander Delos saying Klopp believed that Liverpool, Port and FSG did a Harry Kane contract verbal promises. Facts. Jude Jelling saying, do you want Fabinho out? It seems like he's forcing a move. Yeah, like, do you know what it is? I wouldn't. Oh, this damn mic. Apologies, people. I'm not going to lie. Like, I would, I'm going to hold it like this. I would, right? I'd get rid of him. I'd get rid of both. I'd get rid of everyone, to be fair. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't hold any allegiances. I think the only one I've got a soft spot for, I'm going to lie, is Trent. Everyone else can go because I think, it'll be exciting to just go and see what Liverpool do. But I think from a logical standpoint, that's just from a kind of fan's perspective. But from a logical standpoint, I don't understand how you can get rid of two of your senior DMs. Well, potential DMs, two of your senior midfielders in Henderson and Fabinho, in the same window that you got rid of your vice captain in James Milner, got rid of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who are still senior midfielders. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, that was senior midfielders. Naby Keita as well. Fabio Carvalho, who actually played a couple games in midfield as well. And still be around and be like, yeah, you know what? Like, get rid of them and we can bring in whoever. I think we need to bring in the right player. So that's how I look at it for me, man. So even if it's a Koopmeiners, I'm not sure. Like, Koopmeiners, I'm not going to lie. I liked how he played in the World Cup. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he's a decent player. I know that I had him in January. It's just, I hear a lot of you fans. Like, how can you go from talking about Bellingham and Tchouaméni and a potential Caicedo and Rice was spoken about much, much earlier. And then you end up with Koopmeiners. It's a bit of like a Debbie Downer. But I get it. I get it, man. I get it. Angel Knight 68 saying, tap up Colwell immediately. Come on, Klopp, make some moves and put it on top. The thing is, I think we've been done for tapping up Colwell. I think we were tapping up Colwell, you know. I think we're tapping up Colwell, and I think we might be under investigation with the FA yet again. So I think Klopp spoke to him. So look, we're going to have to wait and see, man. He's another player that could even play him DM. He's that good, Colwell, man. Built up to Wino saying that's the kind of issue seeing the NBA when the team is ready to start over. Yeah, facts. This is what I'm saying, man. You know when you just feel like you're done. You're done. You just want to get rid of everyone. It doesn't matter how good they are. Houston Rockets tried to do it with the Hardens and that. OKC did it. Washington Wizards done it this season, this now. So yeah, man. Revenant, big up to Revenant saying Cole ain't happening. Yeah, I don't think so, man. I don't think so as well. With Fofana being out for the season with an ACL, yeah, there's no way unless they were to go and get someone in. But I just can't see it. The only thing is though, if he doesn't want to go and play, I don't think Pochettino's the type of manager to be like, I'm forcing you to stay though. I think he's very similar to Klopp and Pep Guardiola in that sense that if you're not available, he'd just be like, cut, go, man, go. So we'll have to wait and see. Jam saying, do you rate Painha? I rate Painha highly. You know what? Anyone that doubts me, yeah, go and check the preview for Fulham versus Liverpool. I believe it's opening day of the season last year. Go and check. And look at what I mentioned and speaking about Painha. Painha is a bad boy. He's a bad boy, man. But he's older. That's just a problem, man. That's just a problem. Andy's going for, look, why not get someone like Calvin Phillips who's got more experience? Yeah. The thing is, a Calvin Phillips, right? Look, I think you'd be expecting him to come in and kind of burst onto the scene yet again and kind of show people, yeah, I'm that guy. And he could be that guy. I'm not saying he couldn't be. Like, when he was at Leeds, I would have had him at Liverpool any day of the week. I thought he'd be a sick player in the squad to have. Because he hasn't played at City, how is his mental doing? Like, do you know what I mean? We need a player that's going to be on it. Is he going to be on it? Is he going to be injury prone? I'm not too sure, man. So, yeah, at one point, he was that guy, though. He was that guy. I believed it. Levi Cole is definitely not for sale this transfer window. Fofana has way too many injuries for a 22-year-old. Phillish. Facts. I agree, man. I agree. Wiener saying Spurs done it with Wembanyama, tanked the season. Yeah. The thing is, they've got, we need to chat B-ball another time, man. But they've got, what's his name? The mixed race brother, the UK brother, man. The half Polish, half the black mixed race brother. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, big up to Bassett. Bassett saying Hendo and Fab can bounce. People cry we need a massive rebuild. When it comes, they want to keep old wash players. Nah, but do you know, Revenite, do you know what it is, yeah? Because I'm in agreement with you guys. The thing is, yeah, this rebuild, it wasn't meant to be like everyone at the same time, because you have to still protect the interests of the club. The club's not necessarily going to be better because we're getting rid of everyone right this second. This is something that should have, in my opinion, been done over a couple of seasons, if not 3 seasons. Like, Milner should have gone 2 seasons ago. Hendo should have gone last season. Fabinho's gone this season. And now you've got 2 midfielders that have been in the club, do you know what I mean, for 2 seasons minimum. Now we're just getting rid of these players. This just doesn't make any sense, because you're mortgaging the season again. And you have to remember, we've got the likes of Virgil, Salah, who else? Thiago, you can chuck in there. Alisson will be all right. But Virgil, Salah, who else is there, man? Is everyone gone now? Fabinho, yeah, he's gone now as well. But we've got those players in particular that are going to waste their final years at Liverpool not winning anything, potentially. That's the way I go and look at it. Revenant saying, look, well, this is what happens when you leave stuff too long. You got to bin the old stuff all at the same time. It's true. It is very true. It's just sad to go and see that Salah might never win the Prem again. Like, it just might happen. It just might happen, man. So we just never know, man. We just never know. Yeah, Reverend saying, look, it's like getting all the parts of your house rot to the point where it needs to replace now. Once facts. We've got James Doherty saying, look, Calvin Phillips would be great for Leeds in the Championship, not Liverpool class at all. He was when he moved to City. When he moved to City, a lot of us were saying that he was. So, look, it's going to be interesting, man. Big up to Honesty. Honesty saying, look, JJ, for the first time in years, I'm excited about summer window. We don't know what might happen. We can buy Kimmich or an unknown entity. Yeah, I agree with you. I've got to say, I do feel a bit more revitalized in comparison to last season, because it's like, wow, what are we going to do? Do you know what I mean? What is it? What is it? Honesty saying, again, JJ questioned, why do you think Klopp thinks this season? Why do you think this season Klopp is letting go of players instead of holding on to them? Is it Klopp or George Schmacker telling him to get rid of Fab and Hendo? I don't think he's getting rid of them proactively. I think Klopp's always been the type of player, if you come to me and want to leave, I'll let you go and I'll let you leave. But I'm not gonna kick you out of the club. Like, if you're comfortable with the way your role changes and you could become a role player, play 1 game a season, play 2 games, he'll still keep you on, because he's like that. He looks at football as more than just the games that we play. It's the training ground, the games, the chats, the convos, all that type of stuff. So I think Hendo, I don't think George Schmacker had anything to do with it. I think Hendo just come out and said, look, I want to leave, bro. 700 bags a week, I want to leave. Fam. Klopp, I know you've been good to me. Like, what do you need from me? I want to play games. You're not going to play games. All right, I need to leave, bro. I need to leave. And that's what's happened. So, Fabinho, again, I think he just knows I'm done. I think he knows himself I'm done. I think he looks back at last season and goes, yay, that was tough last season. If there's going to be another season like that, I might not get into that Brazil squad. You know what? I need to bounce. I think that's what it is. That's what it is more than anything. I think maybe his missus has told him, look, let's have a fresh start somewhere else. And he's fallen for it. So maybe it is something like that, man. Maybe it is something like that. Scrap saying, do not want to be seeing a Thiago and Trent pivot. Facts. I don't want to see that either, man. I don't see that either. Jude Jellim saying, continued. Let's go and see what you wrote. Let's say, it appears the best defensive midfielders in the world tend to win the biggest trophies. Kante with the 2020 UCL, 2018 World Cup, Rodri 2023 UCL, and Enzo Tchouameni World Cup final. Going on to say, not to mention Fernandinho, Busquets. I agree. We need the best midfielder, but who are they? Who are they? Like Declan Rice was touted as that guy. Tchouameni is touted as that guy. Enzo was touted as that guy. Who's the midfielder that becomes that Don Dada? I don't know, man. I don't know. Liverpool are trying to essentially be Leicester, but in a higher position. They're trying to find that Kante before Kante becomes Kante, if that makes sense, in my opinion, man. Captain Sal saying, go get Lavia if you are good enough, you are old enough to play it. I agree, man. We know saying, I still see a lot of the spine, Virgil, Robbo, Matip, Gomez, Simicas, Thiago leaving on a free, which will mess with our progress. Half of these players have to be proactively replaced before they go. I think Gomez, Simicas, Thiago even, they aren't the spine, and Matip, they're not the spine anymore. So, yeah, I agree, but yeah. Revenant saying, if we take too long, Lavia will go Arsenal, Kimmich will go. Yeah, Kimmich will end up at like City, Caicedo will go to Chelsea, and Amrabat will go to United. Facts. K-Max saying we need a Rodri regen. We do, but who is that guy, man? Dougie Joy saying Valverde would be good, play him and pay him / cover for Salah. Yeah, I'd agree. Alan Varela is going to Porto, according to Honesty. Alexander Delos saying, JD, can you run Goretzka's stats? No, that's the last thing I'll do before I head out. That's the last thing I'll do. I'll run his stats. What stats do you want to see then? Like, what stats do you want to compare him to? Like, this is the last one I'm going to do. Leon Goretzka. Hold on. Yeah, cool. Let me know. Let me check. Like, let me know in the comments now who. What stats are we looking for Goretzka? Yeah, I'll compare him with Florentino Luis, actually. I will do that. Big up to Jude Bellingham. Revenant saying, who would you get if you could choose? If I could choose, yeah. Oh, if I could choose. I'm not allowed to go Tyler Adams, you know. I think Tyler Adams comes in. He's played for RB Leipzig, so has an understanding with Szoboszlai already. Has played right back, has played as a DM, has played as a centre mid, has played in the Premier League, was skipper for Leeds, skipper for the USA as well. Well, was like one of the players of the leadership team at Leeds. Skipper for the USA, played in the World Cup, played really well in the World Cup. I'd go him, man. I'm not a fan of Fiorentino. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I can see you, K-Mac. I can hear you, man. G, you said about yourself, Fofana. Can you run his stats compared to Doucoure, Lavia, and Fab? G said about yourself, Fofana. What Seiko Fofana? He's gone to Saudi Arabia. What Fofana are we talking about? I can't do multiple ones, bro. That's the problem. I can't do multiple ones. Yusuf Fofana. Okay. G said about Yusuf Fofana. Can you run his stats compared to Doucoure, Lavia, and Fab? I get you. Unfortunately, I can't. You know what? I'll get that up then. I'll compare Goretzka with Yusuf Fofana. How about that? We'll see what G's doing. We'll see what G's been doing. Yusuf. So many Fofanas and that. It's just crazy. Coupe de France. All right, let's go. It's in comparison to Goretzka, yeah? So, Goretzka got more touches. Yusuf Fofana's got more ball recoveries, right? Can you see here? Goals in favor of Goretzka. Passes attempted, only 1% difference. Pass accuracy, very, very similar. Through balls attempted, very similar, only 0.1 in it. 17 forward passes to 16.5. Backward passes, yeah, it's keeping the ball a bit more. Sideways passes, very similar. Short passes, yeah, very similar again. Wow, they're very similar. Yusuf Fofana and Leon Goretzka, very, very similar. Maybe as an 8, he is an option, you know. Tackles, 2.4, 2.3. Technical success, 60% to 50. Wow, it's very similar. And you got to remember, people, Yusuf Fofana is playing in a worse team. Aerial duels is interesting, though. Leon Goretzka winning 2.4 per game. That's massive. That's massive. 66% to 54%. That's a massive difference. Ground duels won 4.9 for Yusuf Fofana to 3.7. However, ground duel success is in Leon Goretzka's favour. Clearances in Leon Goretzka's favour, and interceptions are in Yusuf Fofana's favour. So very, very, very similar stats, man. Very similar stats. I'm actually going to get it up for you guys as well before I head out. Shadow saying, am I talking to the hairdryer, you know? You guys are violating. Nah, I'm not talking to the hairdryer. It's my mic. So basically, you see when it dropped, can you see, people? Hold on. Can you see? This is my mic. This is what I speak into. It's broken. So I'm having to hold it. Yeah. Poor. But as you can go see, I'm going to just run through this before we head out. Troublemaker obviously saying, how much do you think Tyler Adams will be? I'll get into that in a minute, man. I'll get into that in a minute. Let me just scroll through this and breathe through this just to show you guys quick. So there we can see. Better touches for Goretzka, more ball recoveries for Fofana, 0.2 goals, 0.1. Very similar stats. 50 passes attempted per game, well, 51.6 and 50. 82.8% passing accuracy, 82.47. Very similar. Through balls attempted 0.3, 0.4. Forward passes 17, 16.5. Very similar. Very similar. Duels contested 10.5 to 9. Tackles made 2.3 to 2.4. Take on success 60 to 54.65. Yeah, very, very similar, man. Very similar. Very similar, man. Proper interesting. So boy. Yeah, man. Let me get rid of that, man. I had to get into the comments before I head out. I've been there for an hour already. James Doherty saying, look, Adams has a bit about him. I think under Klopp he could improve even more quickly, I believe. Big up to Samba. Samba saying, after challenging for all 4 trophies, our midfield should have been overhauled already. I agree. This is jokes. Goretzka is really poor. I think Goretzka is decent, you know. Revenant saying, Jerry, if Klopp wins the league with a completely new midfield, would that be his biggest achievement as a Liverpool manager? I agree. I think it will be massive. It will be massive if he does it. Like, if he was to win the league now this season, after what's gone on, after, you know, losing the captain, vice captain, this person to do it again, it will be a massive achievement, and you should cut after that as well, man. You should cut. Troublemaker saying, how much do you think Leeds would want for Tyler Adams? I think 30 million, 40 million. Yeah, I'd look. That's the ballpark I'd look at, man. Bassett saying, intrigued to see which midfielders Man City buy. Gundogan, Bernardo, Phillips leaving. That leaves KDB and Rodri. Watch the Spanish gems Pep brings in. Yeah, you've also got Rico Lewis as well. They've Rico Lewis. They've got Stone still available. I think they'll be all right, man. They'll be all right. K-Mac saying, Adams cost Leeds 30 million, maybe less now, 25 million, and Leeds want Nat Phillips too. Yeah. Honestly saying, is Tyler Adams the American from Leeds? Yes, he is. Alexander De Los saying, Fofana is more durable than Goretzka. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. And Revenant saying, if he does that, top Red and Klopp defensively wanted to stay for as long as Fergie. Yeah, but you have credit in the bank, man. You have credit in the bank. K-Mac saying, look, run Fiorentina against Rodri JJ. It will blow your mind. I'm definitely going to go and do that, but not now. Now I need to get back to doing what I've got to go and do. You've had an hour of my time, and I think it's time for me to, you know, blow out into the wind. But big up to everyone in the building. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. Massive appreciation. We've got about 70 people in the building. So please make sure. I want 70, if not 80 likes on the video, people. Like straight off the rip, off the bat. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. I want to know now what you guys think. So when this is done, not in the live chat, in the comments, I want all of you guys in the comments, arguably, to go and let me know what you guys think of Cheick Doucoure. Do some more research. Do you think he's the guy? Have you guys changed your mind? Is it a Florentino Lloris? Is it an Amrabat? Is it a Lavia? There's so many names right now. it's like another day, another name for Liverpool right now. Another day, another link. So look, who knows what type of midfielder we'll sign or who we will sign. I guess we have to just wait until and see whether, you know, the Fabinho and Henderson deal goes through, or the deals go through. And once they do, I think we're going to see some action in the market, man, from a Liverpool perspective. But look, until that time, people, make sure we're clicking the notification bell and staying up to date with any new news, any new transfer news, or just videos that I'm going to be uploading. As I said, we're back, we're committed, we're running it every 2 days minimum. So we're here, man. We're here to stay. But look, until next time, people, it's been the Jerry James Show, and we're out, people. Have a good afternoon.